Greetings. The topic is Top 21 Emerging Trends in Urban Gardening. Vertical gardening. Vertical gardening, grow up, not out. Maximize your urban space with vertical gardening. Learn how to create stunning vertical gardens on walls and fences. The benefits of vertical gardening. Vertical gardening offers a multitude of benefits, especially for urban dwellers. It allows you to maximize limited space, improve air quality, and create a stunning visual impact. According to research published in the Journal of Environmental Horticulture, vertical gardens can reduce indoor air pollutants and increase humidity levels, making your living space healthier and more comfortable. Case study: let's take a look at the story of Jane, a city resident with a small balcony. By installing a vertical garden, she transformed her balcony into a green oasis. Not only did she grow fresh herbs and vegetables, but she also created a relaxing space where she could unwind and enjoy nature. But it's not just about aesthetics and air quality. Vertical gardening can also enhance your mental well-being. Studies have shown that interacting with plants can reduce stress and boost mood. So, if you're feeling the urban blues, a vertical garden might be just what you need. Actionable tips for starting a vertical garden. Choose the right location. Start by selecting a location that receives adequate sunlight. Whether it's a sunny wall in your living room or a balcony, light is essential for plant growth. Tip: south-facing walls typically receive the most sunlight. Select suitable plants. Not all plants are suitable for vertical gardens. Choose plants that thrive in your climate and require similar care. Some great options include herbs like basil and thyme, leafy greens like lettuce and spinach, and even strawberries. Hack: mix and match plants with different textures and colors for a visually appealing garden. Use quality soil and fertilizer. Since vertical gardens have limited soil, it's important to use high-quality potting mix and organic fertilizer to ensure your plants receive the nutrients they need. Tip: consider using a soil mix specifically designed for container gardening. Install proper irrigation. Keeping your vertical garden adequately watered can be challenging. Install a drip irrigation system or self-watering planters to make maintenance easier. Hack: add a water catchment tray at the bottom to collect excess water and prevent waste. Secure your garden. Make sure your vertical garden structure is securely fastened to prevent accidents. Use sturdy hooks and brackets if you're attaching it to a wall or fence. Tip: regularly check for any signs of wear and tear to ensure safety. Let's hear from some of our listeners about their experiences with vertical gardening. Story: one listener shared how vertical gardening helped her create a mini herb garden in her small kitchen. Now, she has fresh herbs at her fingertips whenever she cooks. Statistics: according to a survey by the National Gardening Association, vertical gardening has increased by 30% over the past 5 years, reflecting its growing popularity among urban dwellers. Story: another listener mentioned that her vertical garden attracted butterflies and bees, adding a touch of nature to her urban environment and supporting local pollinators. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that there's a growing trend of using recycled materials for vertical gardens? From repurposed pallets to old plastic bottles, creative gardeners are finding innovative ways to build vertical gardens while reducing waste. Tip: try using recycled materials for your vertical garden structure. It's eco-friendly and adds a unique, rustic charm to your garden. Another exciting trend is the integration of smart technology in vertical gardening. Smart planters with built-in sensors can monitor soil moisture, light levels, and temperature, sending alerts to your smartphone so you can ensure your plants are thriving. Tip: invest in smart gardening technology to take the guesswork out of plant care. It's a great way to keep your vertical garden healthy and productive. Additionally, some urban gardening enthusiasts are experimenting with hydroponic vertical gardens. This soil-less gardening method uses nutrient-rich water to grow plants, allowing for faster growth and higher yields. Tip: consider starting a hydroponic vertical garden if you're looking for a high-tech and efficient way to grow your favorite plants. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and plant preferences can vary across cultures. For example, in Japanese culture, vertical gardens are often incorporated into small indoor spaces to create a sense of calm and connection with nature. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your vertical gardening practice. When choosing plants, consider the local climate and regulations. Some plants may be restricted in certain areas due to their potential impact on local ecosystems. Always check local guidelines to ensure compliance. Hydroponics. Hydroponics, the future of urban farming. Discover the benefits of hydroponics for urban gardening. Grow fresh produce without soil. We're diving into a topic that's revolutionizing urban agriculture, hydroponics. Imagine growing fresh, nutritious produce right in the heart of the city, without needing a single patch of soil. Sounds futuristic, right? Well, it's happening right now, and it's called hydroponics. Stay tuned as we explore how this innovative method is changing the way we think about farming. What is hydroponics? First things first, let's break down what hydroponics actually is. Hydroponics is a method of growing plants without soil, using nutrient-rich water solutions instead. This allows plants to grow faster and healthier, all while using up to 90% less water than traditional farming methods. Benefits of hydroponics. Hydroponics offers a plethora of benefits. For starters, it's incredibly space efficient, making it perfect for urban environments where land is scarce. You can set up hydroponic systems on rooftops, balconies, or even in basements. Plus, it allows for year-round crop production, meaning you can enjoy fresh tomatoes in the dead of winter. Real-world examples. Let's take a look at some real-world examples. In Singapore, the Sky Greens vertical farm uses hydroponics to grow vegetables on towering structures, producing up to 5 times more yield per square foot than traditional farming. Closer to home, urban farmers in New York City are turning rooftops into lush gardens, providing fresh produce to local restaurants and markets. Environmental impact. Hydroponics isn't just good for your wallet, it's great for the planet too. By reducing water usage and eliminating the need for pesticides, hydroponics is a more sustainable way to grow food. Plus, it reduces the carbon footprint associated with transporting produce from rural farms to urban areas. Future trends and innovations. The future of hydroponics is looking bright. Innovations like LED grow lights and automated nutrient delivery systems are making it easier than ever to grow food indoors. We're also seeing a rise in community hydroponic gardens, where neighbors come together to grow their own food and share the harvest. Aquaponics. Aquaponics, sustainable urban gardening. Combine aquaculture and hydroponics for a self-sustaining garden. Learn how to set up your own aquaponic system. Have you ever wished you could grow fresh vegetables and raise fish right in your urban home? Aquaponics might be the solution you're looking for. By combining aquaculture, raising fish, and hydroponics, growing plants without soil, aquaponics creates a self-sustaining ecosystem that's perfect for urban gardening. We'll delve into the benefits of aquaponics, share inspiring stories, and provide practical tips to help you set up your own system. Imagine this: you have a compact, self-sustaining garden in your apartment that not only grows fresh veggies but also raises fish. It's eco-friendly, efficient, and provides you with healthy food year-round. That's the magic of aquaponics. The basics of aquaponics. So, what exactly is aquaponics? At its core, aquaponics is a combination of aquaculture and hydroponics. Fish produce waste, which is broken down by bacteria into nutrients that plants can absorb. The plants, in turn, help purify the water, creating a closed-loop system that's both efficient and sustainable. Case study: let's look at the story of John, an urban dweller who transformed his small balcony into an aquaponic garden. By setting up a simple system with a fish tank and grow beds, John was able to grow leafy greens and herbs while raising tilapia. Not only did he reduce his grocery bills, but he also enjoyed the satisfaction of producing his own food. Benefits of aquaponics. Aquaponics offers numerous benefits for urban gardeners. First and foremost, it's incredibly space efficient. Because the system is vertical, you can grow a significant amount of produce in a small footprint. Additionally, aquaponics uses up to 90% less water than traditional farming methods, making it ideal for areas with water scarcity. But that's not all. Aquaponics also allows for year-round gardening, as the controlled environment can be maintained indoors. Plus, the absence of soil means fewer pests and diseases, reducing the need for pesticides. Actionable tips for setting up an aquaponics system. Start small. If you're new to aquaponics, start with a small system to get the hang of it. A 20-gallon fish tank with a couple of grow beds is a great way to begin. Tip: goldfish or tilapia are excellent choices for beginners due to their hardiness. Choose the right plants. Not all plants thrive in aquaponic systems. Leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and herbs like basil and mint are great options. Hack: experiment with different plants to see what works best in your system. Maintain water quality. Regularly monitor the water quality in your system. Test for pH, ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates to ensure a healthy environment for your fish and plants. Tip: use a simple water testing kit and adjust the levels as needed. Provide adequate lighting. Plants need adequate light to grow. If you're setting up your system indoors, consider using LED grow lights to mimic natural sunlight. Hack: position the lights on a timer to ensure your plants receive consistent light each day. Monitor fish health. Keep an eye on your fish and make sure they're healthy. Happy fish mean healthy plants. Tip: feed your fish a balanced diet and watch for any signs of illness. Story: one listener shared how her aquaponic garden provided fresh herbs and vegetables for her family, reducing trips to the grocery store and cutting down on food waste. Statistics: according to a report by the Aquaponics Association, aquaponics systems can produce up to 4 times the yield of traditional soil-based gardening in the same amount of space. Story: another listener mentioned how his aquaponic system became a fun and educational project for his children, teaching them about biology, ecology, and sustainability. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that there's a growing trend of integrating aquaponics with smart technology? Automated systems that monitor water quality, temperature, and light levels are making it easier than ever to maintain a thriving aquaponic garden. Tip: consider investing in smart aquaponic systems to simplify maintenance and optimize plant growth. Another emerging trend is the use of aquaponics in community gardens. These shared spaces bring neighbors together, promote local food production, and educate communities about sustainable farming practices. Tip: if you're passionate about aquaponics, consider starting a community aquaponic garden in your neighborhood. Additionally, urban farmers are experimenting with innovative designs like vertical aquaponic towers and indoor aquaponic walls, maximizing space and creating stunning visual displays. Tip: get creative with your aquaponic system designed to make the most of your available space. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and dietary preferences can vary across cultures. In some cultures, fish like tilapia or catfish are more commonly raised in aquaponic systems. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your aquaponic gardening practice. When setting up your aquaponic system, ensure compliance with local regulations regarding fish farming and water usage. Always check with local authorities to avoid any legal issues. Rooftop gardens. Rooftop gardens transform your roof into a green oasis. Turn your rooftop into a thriving garden. Learn how to create a beautiful and productive rooftop garden. Have you ever looked at your rooftop and thought about its untapped potential? Rooftop gardening is an innovative and practical solution to urban gardening. It's not just about aesthetics. Rooftop gardens offer numerous benefits, including improved air quality, reduced energy costs, and a beautiful space to relax. We'll explore these benefits, share inspiring stories, and provide practical tips to help you create your own rooftop garden. Imagine coming home after a long day and unwinding in your very own green oasis. You're surrounded by lush plants, fresh herbs, and maybe even some homegrown vegetables. That's the magic of rooftop gardening. The benefits of rooftop gardens. Rooftop gardens are more than just a trend, they're a solution to many urban challenges. They help to reduce the urban heat island effect, lower energy costs by providing natural insulation, and improve air quality by absorbing pollutants. According to a study by the National Research Council of Canada, rooftop gardens can reduce heat flow by up to 75%, significantly lowering cooling costs in the summer. Case study: let's take a look at Sarah, a New York City resident who transformed her building's rooftop into a thriving garden. Not only did she create a space for growing vegetables and herbs, but she also added seating areas and a small water feature. Her rooftop garden has become a communal space for her neighbors, fostering a sense of community and providing a green escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. And it's not just about the environmental and economic benefits. Rooftop gardens can also improve your mental well-being. Studies have shown that gardening can reduce stress, boost mood, and promote a sense of accomplishment. Actionable tips for creating a rooftop garden. Check building regulations. Before you start, make sure to check local building codes and regulations. Some buildings may require permits or have restrictions on rooftop modifications. Tip: consult with your building manager or local authorities to ensure compliance. Assess structural integrity. It's important to ensure that your rooftop can support the weight of a garden. Have a structural engineer assess the roof to determine its load-bearing capacity. Hack: use lightweight containers and soil mixes to reduce the overall weight. Plan your layout. Plan the layout of your garden, taking into account factors like sunlight, wind, and access to water. Group plants with similar sunlight and water needs together. Tip: create designated areas for seating, plants, and pathways to make the space functional and attractive. Select suitable plants. Choose plants that thrive in your local climate and can withstand rooftop conditions. Drought-tolerant plants like succulents, herbs, and vegetables are great options. Hack: consider using native plants, which are well adapted to your region's climate and require less maintenance. Install proper irrigation. Keeping your rooftop garden adequately watered is crucial. Install an efficient irrigation system, such as drip irrigation or self-watering planters. Tip: use rainwater harvesting systems to collect and utilize rainwater for your garden. Story: one listener shared how her rooftop garden became a sanctuary during the lockdown, providing her with a space to unwind and reconnect with nature. Statistics: according to a report by Green Roofs for Healthy Cities, the green roof industry has grown by 15% annually over the past decade, reflecting a rising interest in rooftop gardening. Story: another listener mentioned that her rooftop garden not only provided fresh produce but also attracted birds and butterflies, creating a mini ecosystem in the middle of the city. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that there's a growing trend of integrating technology into rooftop gardening? From smart irrigation systems to app-controlled lighting, technology is making it easier to maintain and optimize rooftop gardens. Tip: try using smart sensors to monitor soil moisture, temperature, and light levels. These devices can provide real-time data and alerts to help you care for your plants more effectively. Another exciting trend is the use of modular green roofs. These pre-planted modules can be easily installed and removed, allowing for flexible and scalable rooftop gardens. Tip: consider modular green roofs if you're looking for a low-maintenance and customizable solution. They're perfect for beginners and can be expanded as your gardening skills grow. Additionally, Some urban gardeners are experimenting with hydroponic and aquaponic systems on rooftops. These soilless gardening methods can produce high yields in a small space, making them ideal for urban environments. Tip: explore hydroponic or aquaponic systems if you're interested in innovative and efficient gardening techniques. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. Gardening practices and plant preferences can vary widely across cultures. For instance, Japanese rooftop gardens often incorporate elements of Zen design, focusing on simplicity and tranquility. It's important to respect and embrace these cultural differences in your gardening practice. When planning your rooftop garden, consider the local climate and regulations. Some cities may have specific guidelines for rooftop modifications and plant selections. Always check local rules to ensure your garden complies with regulations. Container gardening. Container gardening: grow plants anywhere. Grow your favorite plants in containers. Perfect for balconies, patios, and small spaces. Have you ever wished you could grow your own vegetables, herbs, or flowers, but felt limited by your living space? Container gardening is the perfect solution for urban dwellers and those with limited garden space. We'll explore the ins and outs of container gardening, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you get started. Imagine stepping out onto your balcony and being greeted by a vibrant array of potted plants, each one brimming with life and color. Not only do they add aesthetic appeal, but they also offer the joy of homegrown produce. That's the magic of container gardening. The benefits of container gardening. Container gardening offers numerous benefits. It's highly adaptable, allowing you to grow plants in virtually any space. It's also easier to control soil quality and moisture levels, making it ideal for beginners and experienced gardeners alike. According to a study published in the Journal of Urban Horticulture, container gardening can enhance mental well-being by providing a therapeutic and rewarding hobby. Case study: let's talk about Maria, a city resident who transformed her small balcony into a lush container garden. By using a variety of containers, she was able to grow tomatoes, basil, and even strawberries. Maria found that tending to her garden not only provided fresh produce but also helped her unwind after long workdays. And it's not just about mental health. Container gardening can also contribute to sustainability by reducing the need for store-bought produce, cutting down on packaging waste, and lowering your carbon footprint. Actionable tips for successful container gardening. Choose the right containers. Start by selecting containers that suit your space and the plants you want to grow. Containers come in various sizes, materials, and styles. Tip: ensure containers have drainage holes to prevent water logging. Use quality soil. Good soil is key to healthy plants. Use a high-quality potting mix designed for containers, as garden soil can be too heavy and compact. Hack: add compost to your potting mix to provide additional nutrients. Select suitable plants. Not all plants are suitable for container gardening. Choose plants that thrive in your climate and have similar watering needs. Tip: herbs, leafy greens, and dwarf varieties of vegetables are excellent choices for containers. Proper watering. Container plants need regular watering, as they can dry out faster than garden beds. Water your plants thoroughly and consistently. Hack: use self-watering containers or place saucers under pots to retain moisture. Fertilize regularly. Container plants require more frequent feeding than those in the ground. Use a balanced liquid fertilizer every few weeks to keep your plants healthy. Tip: consider using organic fertilizers to support sustainable gardening practices. Story: one listener shared how container gardening allowed her to grow a variety of herbs in her small apartment kitchen, providing fresh ingredients for her cooking. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, container gardening has grown by 50% over the past decade, making it one of the fastest growing gardening trends. Story: another listener mentioned that container gardening helped her teach her children about where food comes from and the importance of caring for plants. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that container gardening is evolving with new trends and innovations? One exciting trend is the use of smart pots and planters equipped with sensors that monitor soil moisture, light, and temperature. These smart containers can connect to your smartphone, making plant care more convenient and precise. Tip: try using smart pots to take the guesswork out of watering and ensure your plants receive the right amount of care. Another innovation is the use of repurposed materials for containers. From old wooden crates to recycled metal cans, creative gardeners are finding eco-friendly ways to grow plants and reduce waste. Tip: get creative with your containers by repurposing items you already have. It's a fun and sustainable way to garden. Vertical container gardening is also gaining popularity. By stacking or hanging containers, you can maximize your growing space and create a stunning vertical garden. Tip: consider using tiered plant stands or wall-mounted planters to make the most of your vertical space. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and preferences can vary across cultures. For instance, in Mediterranean countries, terracotta pots are commonly used for their breathability and rustic charm. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your container gardening practice. When selecting plants, consider the local climate and regulations. Some plants may be invasive in certain regions and should be avoided. Always check local guidelines to ensure compliance. Community gardens. Community gardens, growing together. Join or start a community garden. Learn how to collaborate with neighbors for a shared green space. Have you ever felt the urge to garden but found yourself limited by space or resources? Or perhaps you're looking for a way to connect with your neighbors and build a stronger community. Community gardens might just be the perfect solution. We'll explore the many benefits of community gardening, share inspiring stories, and provide practical tips to help you start or join a community garden in your area. Imagine this: you're working side by side with your neighbors, tending to a thriving garden filled with vibrant vegetables, fragrant herbs, and beautiful flowers. The sun is shining, laughter fills the air, and you're part of something bigger than yourself. That's the magic of community gardening. The benefits of community gardens. Community gardens offer a wealth of benefits, from improving access to fresh produce to fostering social connections. According to research from the American Community Gardening Association, community gardens can increase property values, reduce crime rates, and promote physical and mental health. Case study: let's take a look at the story of the Green Thumb Community Garden in Brooklyn, New York. This once vacant lot was transformed into a vibrant green space where residents come together to grow food, share knowledge, and celebrate their diverse cultures. The garden has not only provided fresh produce but also created a safe and welcoming space for the community. But it's not just about the produce. Community gardens can also strengthen social ties and foster a sense of belonging. A study published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that community gardeners reported higher levels of social cohesion and community engagement compared to non-gardeners. Actionable tips for starting or joining a community garden. Find a suitable location. The first step in starting a community garden is finding a suitable location. Look for vacant lots, rooftops, or even schoolyards that can be transformed into green spaces. Tip: contact your local government or community organizations to find potential sites and secure necessary permissions. Gather a group. Community gardens thrive on collaboration. Gather a group of interested neighbors, friends, or local organizations to join your gardening efforts. Hack: host a community meeting or social event to gauge interest and recruit volunteers. Plan your garden. Once you have a location and a group, it's time to plan your garden. Decide what you want to grow, how to divide responsibilities, and how to manage resources. Tip: create a garden layout that maximizes space and includes a variety of plants to meet the community's needs. Secure funding and resources. Starting a community garden may require funding for tools, seeds, and soil. Look for grants, donations, or sponsorships from local businesses and organizations. Hack: organize fundraising events or apply for community grants to support your garden project. Maintain and enjoy. Regular maintenance is key to a successful community garden. Set up a schedule for watering, weeding, and harvesting to ensure everyone contributes. Tip: host regular garden events and workshops to keep the community engaged and educated. Story: one listener shared how joining a community garden helped her connect with her neighbors and build lasting friendships while providing fresh produce for her family. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, community gardening participation has increased by 40% over the past decade, reflecting a growing interest in urban agriculture and sustainable living. Story: another listener mentioned that their community garden became a sanctuary during the pandemic, offering a safe outdoor space for social interaction and stress relief. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that community gardens are evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the integration of technology, such as smart irrigation systems and weather monitoring devices, to improve garden efficiency and sustainability. Tip: consider using smart technology to manage your community garden more effectively and reduce water usage. Another trend is the creation of themed gardens, such as pollinator gardens, native plant gardens, and sensory gardens, to cater to specific community interests and needs. Tip: design a themed garden that reflects your community's unique culture and preferences, making it a more engaging and personalized space. Additionally, some community gardens are partnering with local schools and organizations to offer educational programs and workshops on gardening, nutrition, and environmental stewardship. Tip: collaborate with local schools and nonprofits to create educational opportunities that benefit the entire community. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and plant preferences can vary across cultures. In many indigenous cultures, community gardening is a way to preserve traditional agricultural practices and promote food sovereignty. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your community gardening efforts. When starting a community garden, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on land use or require permits for certain activities. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Edible landscaping. Edible landscaping, beauty and bounty. Combine aesthetics and functionality with edible landscaping. Grow fruits, vegetables, and herbs in your garden. Have you ever dreamed of a garden that's not only beautiful but also functional, providing you with fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs? Edible landscaping allows you to do just that. We'll explore the benefits of edible landscaping, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you create your own edible landscape. Imagine walking through your garden, picking ripe tomatoes, fragrant basil, and juicy strawberries, all while enjoying the stunning visual appeal of your landscape. That's the magic of edible landscaping. The benefits of edible landscaping. Edible landscaping offers a multitude of benefits. It's a perfect blend of aesthetics and functionality, allowing you to create a beautiful garden that also provides fresh, homegrown produce. According to a study published in the Journal of Environmental Horticulture, edible landscaping can promote sustainability, improve food security, and enhance biodiversity. Case study: let's take a look at the story of Sarah, an urban gardener who transformed her front yard into a stunning edible landscape. By replacing traditional ornamental plants with fruit trees, berry bushes, and vegetable beds, Sarah not only created a visually appealing garden but also reduced her grocery bills and provided fresh produce for her family and neighbors. And it's not just about the food. Edible landscaping can also enhance your mental well-being. Gardening is known to reduce stress and improve mood, making it a therapeutic and rewarding hobby. Actionable tips for creating an edible landscape. Plan your garden. The first step in creating an edible landscape is planning. Consider the layout of your garden, the types of plants you want to grow, and how they will complement each other. Tip: Use companion planting techniques to improve plant health and productivity. Choose the right plants. Select plants that thrive in your climate and soil conditions. Opt for a mix of fruits, vegetables, and herbs to create a diverse and bountiful garden. Hack: incorporate perennials like fruit trees and berry bushes for a long-lasting and low-maintenance garden. Incorporate edible plants into your landscape design. Integrate edible plants into your existing landscape design by using them as focal points, borders, and ground covers. Tip: plant colorful vegetables and herbs to add visual interest and appeal. Use organic gardening practices. Organic gardening practices are essential for a healthy and sustainable edible landscape. Use organic fertilizers, compost, and natural pest control methods to keep your garden thriving. Hack: create a compost pile to recycle kitchen scraps and garden waste into nutrient-rich soil. Maintain and harvest regularly. Regular maintenance is key to a successful edible landscape. Water, weed, and prune your plants as needed, and harvest regularly to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Tip: use a drip irrigation system to ensure consistent and efficient watering. Story: one listener shared how edible landscaping helped her create a productive and visually appealing garden, providing fresh produce for her family and a sense of accomplishment. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, the popularity of edible landscaping has increased by 30% in the past 5 years, reflecting a growing interest in sustainable living and home gardening. Story: another listener mentioned that her edible landscape attracted pollinators like bees and butterflies, creating a vibrant and healthy ecosystem in her garden. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that edible landscaping is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of vertical gardens and trellises to maximize space and grow climbing plants like beans, cucumbers, and tomatoes. Tip: try using vertical gardening techniques to make the most of your space and create a stunning visual display. Another innovation is the use of heirloom varieties and native plants in edible landscapes. These plants are often more resilient and adapted to local conditions, making them ideal for sustainable gardening. Tip: incorporate heirloom and native plants into your edible landscape to support biodiversity and preserve cultural heritage. Additionally, some gardeners are experimenting with edible flowers, adding color and flavor to their landscapes and dishes. Tip: grow edible flowers like nasturtiums, violets, and calendula to add a unique and beautiful touch to your garden and culinary creations. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and plant preferences can vary across cultures. In many cultures, edible landscaping has deep roots, with traditional gardens featuring a variety of fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your edible landscaping efforts. When planning your edible landscape, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on certain plants or gardening practices. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Pollinator gardens. Pollinator gardens attract bees and butterflies. Create a garden that attracts pollinators. Learn which plants to grow for a thriving ecosystem. Attract bees and butterflies. Have you ever watched bees buzzing around flowers or butterflies dancing in the air and wondered how you could attract these delightful creatures to your own garden? Pollinator gardens are the answer. We'll explore the benefits of pollinator gardens, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you create your own pollinator-friendly garden. Imagine this: you're sipping your morning coffee in your garden, surrounded by vibrant blooms and the gentle hum of bees. Butterflies flit from flower to flower, adding a touch of magic to the scene. That's the beauty of a pollinator garden. The benefits of pollinator gardens. Pollinator gardens offer a plethora of benefits. They provide essential habitats for bees, butterflies, and other pollinators, which are crucial for the reproduction of many plants, including those that produce our food. According to the Pollinator Partnership, pollinators are responsible for 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat. Case study: let's take a look at the story of the Central Park Pollinator Garden in New York City. This garden was established to support local pollinator populations and educate the public about their importance. Over the years, the garden has attracted thousands of bees, butterflies, and other pollinators, creating a vibrant and thriving ecosystem in the heart of the city. And it's not just about supporting pollinators. Pollinator gardens can also enhance the beauty and biodiversity of your garden, provide educational opportunities, and contribute to environmental conservation. Actionable tips for creating a pollinator garden. Choose the right plants. The first step in creating a pollinator garden is choosing the right plants. Select a variety of native plants that provide nectar and pollen throughout the growing season. Tip: plant a mix of flowers with different colors, shapes, and bloom times to attract a diverse array of pollinators. Create habitat and shelter. In addition to food, pollinators need habitat and shelter. Include elements like rocks, logs, and water sources in your garden to provide safe resting places. Hack: create a bee hotel using hollow stems and drilled wood blocks to provide nesting sites for solitary bees. Avoid pesticides. Pesticides can be harmful to pollinators. Use organic gardening practices and natural pest control methods to protect your pollinator-friendly garden. Tip: introduce beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings to help control pests naturally. Provide water sources. Pollinators need water, especially during hot weather. Provide shallow water sources like bird baths, puddles, or shallow dishes with rocks for bees to land on. Hack: keep water sources fresh and clean to prevent mosquito breeding. Educate and engage the community. Share your passion for pollinator gardening with others. Educate your community about the importance of pollinators and encourage them to create their own pollinator gardens. Tip: host garden tours, workshops, and educational events to raise awareness and inspire action. Story: one listener shared how creating a pollinator garden helped attract a variety of bees and butterflies, adding beauty and vibrancy to her garden while supporting local pollinators. Statistics: according to the Xerces Society, planting pollinator gardens can increase local bee populations by up to 50%, demonstrating their significant impact on pollinator conservation. Story: another listener mentioned that her pollinator garden became a favorite spot for her children to observe and learn about nature, fostering a love for the environment. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that pollinator gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of wildflower meadows and prairie plantings to create expansive pollinator habitats in urban areas. Tip: consider incorporating a wildflower meadow into your garden designed to support a wide range of pollinators and create a stunning natural landscape. Another innovation is the integration of technology, such as smart irrigation systems and pollinator monitoring apps, to enhance garden management and track pollinator activity. Tip: use smart technology to optimize watering and monitor the health of your pollinator garden, ensuring it remains a thriving habitat for bees and butterflies. Additionally, some gardeners are experimenting with night-blooming plants to attract nocturnal pollinators like moths and bats, adding a unique dimension to their gardens. Tip: plant evening primrose, moonflowers, and night-blooming jasmine to create a pollinator-friendly garden that comes alive after dark. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and plant preferences can vary across cultures. In many cultures, certain plants hold symbolic significance and are used in traditional gardens to attract specific pollinators. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your pollinator gardening efforts. When planning your pollinator garden, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on certain plants or gardening practices. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Herb gardens. Herb gardens, fresh flavors at your fingertips. Grow your own herbs for cooking and medicinal purposes. Learn how to start and maintain an herb garden. Have you ever wished you could step outside your door and pick fresh herbs to enhance your cooking or create soothing remedies? Herb gardens make this possible. We'll explore the benefits of herb gardening, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you start and maintain your own herb garden. Imagine this: you're preparing a delicious meal, and you step into your garden to pick fresh basil, rosemary, and mint. The vibrant flavors and aromas elevate your dishes to new heights. That's the magic of herb gardening. The benefits of herb gardening. Herb gardening offers a variety of benefits. It's an accessible and rewarding way to grow your own food, enhance your culinary creations, and enjoy the therapeutic benefits of gardening. According to a study published in the Journal of Horticultural Therapy, herb gardening can reduce stress, improve mood, and promote overall well-being. Case study: let's talk about John's herb garden. John, a city dweller with a small balcony, transformed his space into a lush herb garden. By using containers and vertical planters, he was able to grow a wide variety of herbs, from basil and thyme to lavender and chamomile. John found that tending to his herbs not only provided fresh ingredients for his cooking but also helped him relax and unwind after a busy day. And it's not just about the culinary and therapeutic benefits. Herb gardens can also contribute to sustainability by reducing the need for store-bought herbs, cutting down on packaging waste, and lowering your carbon footprint. Actionable tips for starting and maintaining an herb garden. Choose the right location. The first step in starting an herb garden is choosing the right location. Most herbs thrive in full sunlight, so select a spot that gets at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day. Tip: if you're limited on space, consider using window sills, balconies, or even kitchen counters with adequate light. Select suitable herbs. Not all herbs are created equal. Choose herbs that suit your climate, growing conditions, and culinary preferences. Hack: start with easy-to-grow herbs like basil, mint, rosemary, and thyme. They are versatile and resilient. Use quality soil and containers. Good soil is essential for healthy herb growth. Use a well-draining potting mix and choose containers with drainage holes to prevent waterlogging. Tip: consider using terracotta pots for better airflow and moisture regulation. Watering and feeding. Herbs require regular watering, especially during hot weather. Water your herbs thoroughly but avoid overwatering, as this can lead to root rot. Hack: use a water-soluble fertilizer every few weeks to provide essential nutrients and promote healthy growth. Pruning and harvesting. Regular pruning and harvesting encourage new growth and prevent herbs from becoming leggy. Pinch off the tips of your herbs to encourage bushier plants. Tip: harvest herbs in the morning for the best flavor and aroma. Story: one listener shared how growing fresh herbs in her kitchen garden inspired her to experiment with new recipes and elevate her cooking to a whole new level. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, herb gardening is one of the fastest growing segments in home gardening, with a 40% increase in participation over the past 5 years. Story: another listener mentioned that her herb garden became a source of natural remedies, providing ingredients for homemade teas, salves, and essential oils. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that herb gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of hydroponic systems for indoor herb gardening. Hydroponics allows you to grow herbs without soil, using nutrient-rich water solutions and LED grow lights. Tip: try using a hydroponic herb garden to grow fresh herbs year-round, even in small indoor spaces. Another innovation is the integration of smart technology in herb gardening. Smart pots and planters equipped with sensors can monitor soil moisture, light levels, and temperature, sending alerts to your smartphone to ensure optimal growing conditions. Tip: invest in smart gardening technology to make herb gardening more convenient and efficient. Additionally, some gardeners are experimenting with companion planting, growing herbs alongside vegetables and flowers to enhance plant health and deter pests naturally. Tip: plant herbs like basil and marigold alongside tomatoes to improve flavor and repel harmful insects. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that herb gardening practices and plant preferences can vary across cultures. In many cultures, certain herbs have traditional culinary, medicinal, and symbolic uses. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your herb gardening efforts. When growing medicinal herbs, it's essential to ensure compliance with local regulations and guidelines. Some herbs may have restrictions or require permits for cultivation and use. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Composting. Composting, turn waste into gold. Learn the basics of composting and how to create nutrient-rich soil for your garden. Have you ever wondered what to do with those kitchen scraps and yard waste piling up in your home? Composting is the perfect solution. We'll explore the benefits of composting, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you start your own composting journey. Imagine turning your waste into valuable compost that enriches your garden soil, reduces landfill waste, and supports a healthier environment. That's the magic of composting. The benefits of composting. Composting offers a plethora of benefits. It reduces waste, enriches soil, and cuts down on the need for chemical fertilizers. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, composting can divert 30% of household waste from landfills, significantly reducing methane emissions and our carbon footprint. Case study: let's take a look at the story of Green Thumb Community Garden in San Francisco. This community garden started a composting program to manage organic waste and enrich their garden soil. The results were astounding. Plants thrived, and the garden produced more fruits and vegetables than ever before, all thanks to nutrient-rich compost. But it's not just about environmental impact. Composting can also save money by reducing the need for store-bought fertilizers and soil amendments, making it a cost-effective gardening practice. Actionable tips for successful composting. Choose the right composting method. The first step in successful composting is choosing the right method for your needs. There are several methods, including traditional composting, vermicomposting, and bokashi composting. Tip: start with a method that suits your space and lifestyle. For example, vermicomposting is great for small spaces and indoor composting. Gather compostable materials. Collect a mix of green, nitrogen-rich, and brown, carbon-rich, materials for your compost pile. Green materials include kitchen scraps like fruit and vegetable peels, coffee grounds, and grass clippings. Brown materials include leaves, straw, and cardboard. Hack: keep a compost bin in your kitchen to collect scraps easily and reduce trips to your compost pile. Balance your compost pile. A balanced compost pile is key to successful composting. Aim for a ratio of about 3 parts brown materials to 1 part green materials. This balance helps maintain proper aeration and moisture levels. Tip: turn your compost pile regularly to aerate it and speed up the decomposition process. Maintain the right conditions. Composting requires the right conditions to thrive. Keep your compost pile moist but not waterlogged, and ensure it has good airflow. Hack: use a compost thermometer to monitor the temperature of your pile. The ideal range is between 120 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 49 to 71 degrees Celsius. Harvest your compost. When your compost is dark, crumbly, and earthy smelling, it's ready to use. Spread it in your garden beds, mix it into potting soil, or use it as a top dressing for your plants. Tip: sift your compost to remove any large pieces that haven't fully decomposed. Story: one listener shared how composting helped her reduce household waste by 50%, while providing nutrient-rich compost that improved her garden's productivity. Statistics: according to the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, communities that implement composting programs can reduce waste management costs and create local jobs, demonstrating the economic benefits of composting. Story: Another listener mentioned that her children love participating in the composting process, making it a fun and educational family activity. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that composting is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the rise of community composting programs, where neighbors come together to manage organic waste and share compost. Tip: join or start a community composting program in your area to reduce waste and build stronger community ties. Another innovation is the use of composting technology, such as in-vessel composters and smart compost bins that make the process more efficient and user-friendly. Tip: invest in a smart compost bin with features like automated mixing and temperature control to simplify your composting routine. Additionally, some gardeners are experimenting with bokashi composting, a fermentation process that breaks down food waste quickly and can handle meat and dairy scraps, unlike traditional composting. Tip: try bokashi composting to expand the range of materials you can compost and speed up the decomposition process. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that composting practices can vary across cultures. In many indigenous cultures, composting has been practiced for generations as a way to honor and replenish the earth. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your composting efforts. When starting a composting program, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on outdoor composting or require permits. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Sustainable practices. Sustainable urban gardening, eco-friendly tips. Adopt sustainable practices for your urban garden. Reduce waste and conserve resources. Have you ever wondered how you can make your urban garden more environmentally friendly? We'll explore the benefits of sustainable gardening practices, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you reduce waste and conserve resources in your garden. Imagine this: your urban garden is not just a beautiful green space but also a model of sustainability, reducing your carbon footprint and contributing to a healthier planet. That's the magic of sustainable urban gardening. The benefits of sustainable urban gardening. Sustainable gardening offers numerous benefits. It helps conserve resources, reduces waste, and promotes biodiversity. According to a report by the World Resources Institute, sustainable gardening practices can significantly reduce water usage, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and enhance soil health. Case study: let's take a look at the story of the Smith family in London. They transformed their small urban garden into a sustainable oasis by using rainwater harvesting, composting, and planting native species. Not only did their garden thrive, but they also reduced their water and waste bills, and provided a habitat for local wildlife. And it's not just about the environment. Sustainable gardening can also save you money by reducing the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides, making it a cost-effective way to grow your own food. Actionable tips for sustainable urban gardening. Use rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is an excellent way to conserve water and reduce your water bills. Install a rain barrel to collect and store rainwater for your garden. Tip: use rainwater to water your plants, clean garden tools, and fill bird baths. Practice composting. Composting is a fantastic way to recycle kitchen scraps and yard waste into nutrient-rich compost for your garden. It reduces waste and enriches your soil. Hack: start a compost bin in your garden or kitchen to collect compostable materials like fruit and vegetable peels, coffee grounds, and leaves. Plant native species. Native plants are well adapted to your local climate and soil conditions, making them more resilient and less resource intensive. They also provide habitat and food for local wildlife. Tip: choose a variety of native plants to create a diverse and sustainable garden. Use organic gardening practices. Organic gardening practices are essential for a healthy and sustainable garden. Use organic fertilizers, compost, and natural pest control methods to keep your garden thriving. Hack: introduce beneficial insects like ladybugs and predatory nematodes to control pests naturally. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce waste by reusing and recycling materials in your garden. Use recycled containers for planting, repurpose old tools, and create DIY garden projects from reclaimed materials. Tip: get creative with your gardening projects by using items like old pallets, tires, and bottles as planters. Story: one listener shared how rainwater harvesting helped her reduce water usage by 40%, while providing ample water for her garden during dry spells. Statistics: according to the Environmental Protection Agency, sustainable gardening practices can reduce household water use by up to 50%, highlighting their importance in water conservation. Story: another listener mentioned that composting significantly improved her soil health, resulting in more productive and vibrant plants. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that sustainable gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of smart gardening technology, such as soil sensors, weather stations, and automated irrigation systems, to optimize resource use and improve garden efficiency. Tip: invest in smart gardening technology to monitor soil moisture, temperature, and weather conditions, and adjust your watering and planting schedules accordingly. Another innovation is the incorporation of permaculture principles, which focus on creating self-sustaining ecosystems that mimic natural processes. Permaculture gardens are designed to be low maintenance, resource efficient, and highly productive. Tip: apply permaculture principles to your garden by planting diverse species, creating natural water management systems, and using organic materials. Additionally, some urban gardeners are experimenting with hydroponics and aquaponics to grow food using minimal water and space. Tip: explore hydroponic and aquaponic systems to maximize your growing space and reduce water usage. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that sustainable gardening practices can vary across cultures. In many cultures, traditional gardening techniques have been passed down through generations and incorporate sustainable practices such as crop rotation, intercropping, and companion planting. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your sustainable gardening efforts. When implementing sustainable practices, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on water usage, composting, or certain gardening practices. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Smart irrigation. Smart irrigation, efficient watering for urban gardens. Optimize your garden's water use with smart irrigation systems. Learn how to set up and use them. Have you ever struggled with watering your garden efficiently? Or perhaps you're looking for ways to conserve water while keeping your plants healthy and thriving. Smart irrigation might just be the solution you're seeking. We'll dive into the benefits of smart irrigation, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you set up and use smart irrigation systems in your urban garden. Imagine this: your garden is equipped with smart sensors and automated watering systems that ensure your plants get just the right amount of water, reducing waste and saving you time. That's the magic of smart irrigation. The benefits of smart irrigation. Smart irrigation offers a multitude of benefits. It allows you to water your garden more efficiently, conserving water and reducing utility bills. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, smart irrigation systems can reduce water usage by up to 50%, making them a sustainable choice for urban gardeners. Case study: let's take a look at the story of Alex, an urban gardener in Los Angeles who installed a smart irrigation system in his rooftop garden. By using soil moisture sensors and weather-based controllers, Alex was able to reduce his water usage by 40% while keeping his plants healthy and lush. The system even adjusts watering schedules based on real-time weather data, ensuring optimal watering conditions. And it's not just about water conservation. Smart irrigation systems can also save you time and effort. With automated watering schedules and remote control via smartphone apps, you can manage your garden's irrigation from anywhere, giving you more freedom to enjoy other activities. Actionable tips for setting up smart irrigation. Choose the right system. The first step in setting up smart irrigation is choosing the right system for your garden. There are various options available, including soil moisture sensors, weather-based controllers, and drip irrigation systems. Tip: consider your garden's size, plant types, and specific watering needs when selecting a system. Install soil moisture sensors. Soil moisture sensors are key components of smart irrigation systems. They measure the moisture level in the soil and adjust watering schedules accordingly. Hack: place sensors in different areas of your garden to ensure accurate moisture readings and even watering. Use weather-based controllers. Weather-based controllers use real-time weather data to adjust watering schedules, ensuring your garden gets the right amount of water based on current conditions. Tip: connect your controller to a local weather station or use an internet-based service for accurate weather updates. Optimize drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is an efficient watering method that delivers water directly to the plant roots, minimizing evaporation and runoff. Combine it with smart controllers for even greater efficiency. Hack: use adjustable drip emitters to provide the right amount of water to different plants. Monitor and adjust. Regular monitoring and adjustments are essential for maintaining an efficient smart irrigation system. Use smartphone apps to track your system's performance and make necessary tweaks. Tip: set up alerts and notifications to stay informed about your garden's watering needs and system status. Story: one listener shared how installing a smart irrigation system helped her reduce water usage by 30% while keeping her garden vibrant and healthy, even during drought conditions. Statistics: according to the Smart Water Application Technologies Initiative, smart irrigation technologies can save an average of 15,000 gallons of water per household annually, highlighting their significant impact on water conservation. Story: another listener mentioned that using a smartphone app to control her irrigation system made garden maintenance more convenient and enjoyable, allowing her to focus on other aspects of gardening. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that smart irrigation is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the integration of artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning to optimize watering schedules based on plant needs and environmental conditions. Tip: look for smart irrigation systems with AI capabilities to take advantage of advanced watering algorithms and predictive analytics. Another innovation is the use of wireless sensors and Internet of Things, IoT, devices to create fully connected and automated irrigation systems. These technologies enable real-time monitoring and remote control of your garden's irrigation. Tip: invest in IoT-enabled smart irrigation systems to enhance connectivity and control over your garden's watering. Additionally, some smart irrigation systems now offer integration with smart home devices like Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant, allowing you to control your irrigation with voice commands. Tip: explore smart irrigation systems that integrate with your existing smart home ecosystem for seamless control and automation. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that water usage and conservation practices can vary across cultures. In many regions, traditional water-saving techniques have been used for centuries. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your smart irrigation efforts. When installing a smart irrigation system, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on water usage or specific requirements for irrigation systems. Always check with your local government. LED grow lights. LED grow lights boost your indoor garden. Enhance your indoor garden with LED grow lights. Learn how to choose and use them effectively. Have you ever struggled to keep your indoor plants happy and healthy, especially during the dark winter months? LED grow lights might be the solution you're looking for. We'll explore the benefits of LED grow lights, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you choose and use them effectively. Imagine this: your indoor garden is flourishing, with vibrant greens and colorful blooms, all thanks to the magic of LED grow lights. Let's dive in and see how these innovative lights can make a difference in your gardening journey. The benefits of LED grow lights. LED grow lights offer numerous benefits for indoor gardening. They provide the full spectrum of light that plants need to grow, are energy efficient, and can be customized to suit different stages of plant growth. According to a study published in the Journal of Horticultural Science and Biotechnology, LED grow lights can significantly improve plant growth and yield compared to traditional lighting. Case study: let's take a look at the story of Lisa, an urban gardener who transformed her small apartment into a lush indoor garden using LED grow lights. With limited natural light, Lisa struggled to keep her plants healthy. But after switching to LED grow lights, she saw a dramatic improvement in her plants' growth and overall health. Her herbs thrived, her flowers bloomed, and she even started growing vegetables indoors. But it's not just about plant health. LED grow lights are also eco-friendly, using up to 50% less energy than traditional lighting, and they have a longer lifespan, reducing the need for frequent replacements. Actionable tips for choosing and using LED grow lights. Choose the right spectrum. The first step in choosing LED grow lights is selecting the right light spectrum for your plants. Different plants and stages of growth require different light spectrums. Tip: look for full spectrum LED grow lights that provide a balance of blue, red, and white light to support all stages of plant growth. Consider the light intensity. Light intensity is crucial for plant growth. Make sure your LED grow lights provide enough intensity for your plants, especially if they're high-light plants like tomatoes or peppers. Hack: use a light meter to measure the intensity of your grow lights and adjust the distance from your plants as needed. Set the right light duration. The duration of light exposure is just as important as the spectrum and intensity. Different plants have different light requirements, so adjust the duration accordingly. Tip: use a timer to automate your grow lights, ensuring your plants get the right amount of light each day. Optimize light placement. Proper placement of your LED grow lights is key to even light distribution. Position the lights close enough to provide adequate light but not so close that they cause heat stress. Hack: rotate your plants regularly to ensure they receive uniform light exposure from all angles. Monitor and adjust. Regularly monitor your plants and adjust your LED grow lights as needed. Look for signs of light stress, such as yellowing leaves or leggy growth, and make necessary changes. Tip: keep a gardening journal to track your plant's progress and any adjustments you make to your grow light setup. Story: one listener shared how LED grow lights helped her grow a variety of herbs and vegetables in her small kitchen, providing fresh ingredients for her cooking year-round. Statistics: according to the U.S. Department of Energy, LED lighting can save up to 75% of energy compared to incandescent lighting, highlighting the environmental and economic benefits of switching to LED grow lights. Story: another listener mentioned that using LED grow lights allowed her to start an indoor garden during the winter months, bringing greenery and joy into her home when outdoor gardening wasn't an option. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that LED grow lights are evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of smart LED grow lights that can be controlled via smartphone apps, allowing you to adjust the light spectrum, intensity, and duration remotely. Tip: invest in smart LED grow lights to take advantage of automated and remote control features, making your gardening experience more convenient and efficient. Another innovation is the development of LED grow lights with adjustable spectrums, allowing you to customize the light spectrum for different plants and growth stages. Tip: look for LED grow lights with adjustable spectrums to provide the optimal light conditions for your plants at every stage of their growth. Additionally, some companies are experimenting with solar-powered LED grow lights, combining the benefits of solar energy and efficient LED technology for an even more sustainable gardening solution. Tip: consider solar-powered LED grow lights to further reduce your environmental impact and harness renewable energy for your indoor garden. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and preferences can vary across cultures. In many cultures, indoor gardening has long been a way to grow herbs, vegetables, and medicinal plants year-round. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your indoor gardening efforts. When setting up LED grow lights, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on energy usage or light pollution. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Climate control. Climate control, perfect conditions for your plants. Maintain optimal growing conditions with climate control systems. Learn how to create the perfect environment. Have you ever wondered how you can maintain the perfect growing conditions for your indoor plants? Climate control might be the answer. We'll explore the benefits of climate control systems, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you create the perfect environment for your plants. Imagine this: your indoor garden is flourishing, with healthy and vibrant plants, all thanks to precise climate control. Let's dive in and see how you can achieve this in your own home. The benefits of climate control. Climate control offers numerous benefits for indoor gardening. It allows you to maintain optimal temperature, humidity, and light levels, ensuring your plants grow in the best possible conditions. According to a study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, climate-controlled environments can significantly improve plant growth, yield, and quality. Case study: let's take a look at the story of Mark, an urban gardener who transformed his basement into a thriving indoor garden using climate control systems. With fluctuating temperatures and inconsistent humidity levels, Mark struggled to keep his plants healthy. But after installing a climate control system, he saw a dramatic improvement in his plants' growth and overall health. His vegetables thrived, his herbs flourished, and he even managed to grow tropical plants indoors. But it's not just about plant health. Climate control systems are also energy efficient, helping you reduce your energy consumption and carbon footprint. Actionable tips for effective climate control. Monitor temperature. The first step in climate control is monitoring the temperature. Different plants have different temperature requirements, so it's essential to maintain the right temperature range for your plants. Tip: use a digital thermometer to monitor the temperature in your indoor garden and adjust your heating or cooling systems accordingly. Control humidity levels. Humidity is another crucial factor for plant health. High humidity can promote mold growth, while low humidity can cause plants to dry out. Hack: use a humidifier to increase humidity levels or a dehumidifier to reduce humidity, depending on your plant's needs. Ensure proper ventilation. Proper ventilation is essential to prevent mold and mildew growth and to ensure a steady supply of fresh air for your plants. Tip: use fans to improve air circulation and prevent stagnant air in your indoor garden. Manage light exposure. Light is vital for photosynthesis, so it's essential to provide your plants with the right amount of light. LED grow lights are an excellent option for indoor gardens. Hack: use a light timer to automate your grow lights and ensure your plants receive the right amount of light each day. Automate climate control. Automating your climate control system can make it easier to maintain the perfect environment for your plants. Use smart sensors and controllers to monitor and adjust temperature, humidity, and light levels. Tip: invest in a smart climate control system that can be controlled remotely via smartphone apps for convenience and efficiency. Story: one listener shared how installing a climate control system helped him grow a variety of exotic plants in his home, creating a lush and vibrant indoor garden. Statistics: according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, climate-controlled environments can increase crop yields by up to 30%, highlighting the significant impact of climate control on plant growth and productivity. Story: another listener mentioned that using climate control systems allowed her to start an indoor garden during the winter months, providing fresh produce for her family year-round. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that climate control systems are evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of smart climate control technology, such as Wi-Fi-enabled sensors and controllers, to monitor and adjust environmental conditions remotely. Tip: invest in smart climate control technology to take advantage of automated and remote control features, making your gardening experience more convenient and efficient. Another innovation is the development of climate control systems with integrated pest management, which helps prevent pest infestations and diseases in your indoor garden. Tip: look for climate control systems with integrated pest management to keep your plants healthy and pest-free. Additionally, some companies are experimenting with renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, to reduce the environmental impact of climate control systems. Tip: consider using renewable energy sources to power your climate control system and reduce your carbon footprint. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that climate control practices can vary across cultures. In many cultures, traditional indoor gardening techniques incorporate natural methods to regulate temperature and humidity. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your climate control efforts. When implementing climate control systems, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on energy usage or light pollution. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Overcoming space limitations. Overcoming space limitations in urban gardening. Learn creative ways to maximize your gardening space in a small urban environment. Have you ever felt limited by the lack of space in your urban home? Do you wish you could grow your own herbs, vegetables, or flowers, but don't know where to start? We'll explore practical solutions to these challenges, share inspiring success stories, and provide actionable tips to help you create a thriving garden, no matter how small your space is. Imagine turning your tiny balcony, windowsill, or even your kitchen into a lush green oasis. With the right techniques, even the smallest spaces can be transformed into productive gardens. Let's dive in and see how you can make it happen. The benefits of small space gardening. Small space gardening offers numerous benefits. It allows you to grow your own fresh produce, improve air quality, and create a calming green space in your home. According to a study published in the Journal of Urban Horticulture, small space gardening can also reduce stress and enhance mental well-being. Case study: let's take a look at the story of John, who transformed his tiny New York apartment balcony into a vibrant garden. By using vertical gardening techniques, John was able to grow a variety of herbs, vegetables, and flowers, all within a limited space. His garden not only provided fresh produce but also became his sanctuary, where he could relax and unwind after a busy day. And it's not just about personal benefits. Small space gardening can also contribute to sustainability by reducing food miles and packaging waste, making it a green choice for urban living. Actionable tips for overcoming space limitations. Vertical gardening. Vertical gardening is a fantastic way to maximize your space. By growing plants on walls, fences, or trellises, you can make use of vertical surfaces and create a stunning green display. Tip: use modular planters, hanging baskets, or wall-mounted pots to grow climbing plants like tomatoes, beans, and cucumbers. Container gardening. Container gardening allows you to grow plants in pots, planters, and other containers, making it perfect for small spaces like balconies, patios, and window sills. Hack: choose containers with good drainage and use lightweight potting mix to prevent overwatering and root rot. Herb gardens. Growing herbs is a great way to start small space gardening. Herbs like basil, mint, and parsley can thrive in small pots and provide fresh flavors for your cooking. Tip: place your herb pots on a sunny windowsill or a kitchen counter with plenty of natural light. Raised beds. If you have a bit more space, consider using raised beds. They can be customized to fit your available area and provide better control over soil quality and drainage. Hack: build raised beds with reclaimed materials like old pallets or bricks to create an eco-friendly garden. Utilize indoor spaces. Don't limit your gardening to outdoor spaces. Indoor gardening can be just as rewarding, especially with the help of grow lights and indoor-friendly plants. Tip: use shelves, hanging planters, and terrariums to create an indoor garden that adds greenery to your home decor. Story: one listener shared how vertical gardening allowed her to grow a variety of vegetables on her small apartment balcony, providing fresh produce and a beautiful green space. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, the number of urban gardeners has increased by 25% in the past 5 years, reflecting a growing interest in small space gardening. Story: another listener mentioned that container gardening helped him create a productive herb garden on his kitchen windowsill, adding fresh flavors to his meals and a touch of greenery to his home. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that small space gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of smart gardening technology, such as automated irrigation systems and smart plant monitors, to optimize plant care in small spaces. Tip: invest in smart gardening technology to monitor soil moisture, light levels, and temperature, ensuring your plants receive the right care. Another innovation is the development of compact, space-saving gardening tools and accessories, such as foldable planters, stackable pots, and multi-tiered plant stands. Tip: look for space-saving gardening tools and accessories to maximize your gardening area and keep your space organized. Additionally, some urban gardeners are experimenting with microgreens and indoor farming techniques to grow nutritious, fast-growing crops in small spaces. Tip: try growing microgreens on your windowsill or kitchen counter to enjoy fresh, nutrient-dense greens year-round. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and preferences can vary across cultures. In many cultures, urban gardening has long been a way to grow food and herbs in small spaces. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your small space gardening efforts. When starting a small space garden, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on container gardening, vertical structures, or the use of certain materials. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Knowledge gaps. Bridging knowledge gaps in urban gardening. Address common knowledge gaps in urban gardening. Learn from experts and community resources. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information out there on urban gardening? Or maybe you're struggling to find reliable advice tailored to your specific urban environment. We're going to delve into the common knowledge gaps in urban gardening, share expert insights, and provide practical tips to help you become a more confident and successful urban gardener. Imagine this: your urban garden is not just surviving but thriving, thanks to the right knowledge and resources. Let's bridge those gaps together. The importance of bridging knowledge gaps. Knowledge gaps in urban gardening can be a major barrier for many people. They can lead to frustration, failed crops, and wasted resources. A study published in the Urban Agriculture and Regional Food Systems Journal found that access to reliable gardening information significantly improves gardening success and sustainability. Case study: let's talk about Mark, a new urban gardener in Chicago. When he first started, he struggled with common issues like soil quality, pest control, and plant selection. But after attending local gardening workshops and connecting with experienced gardeners, he gained the knowledge he needed to turn his garden around. Mark's garden is a flourishing green space that provides fresh produce for his family and neighbors. It's clear that bridging these knowledge gaps can make a huge difference. Now, let's dive into some actionable tips and expert advice to help you overcome common challenges in urban gardening. Actionable tips for bridging knowledge gaps. Connect with local gardening communities. One of the best ways to bridge knowledge gaps is by connecting with local gardening communities. They can provide tailored advice and support for your specific environment. Tip: join local gardening clubs, community gardens, or online forums to share experiences and learn from others. Attend workshops and classes. Workshops and classes are a great way to gain practical, hands-on knowledge. Look for events hosted by local botanical gardens, universities, or gardening organizations. Hack: many institutions offer free or low-cost workshops, so take advantage of these opportunities to expand your skills. Utilize online resources. The internet is a treasure trove of gardening information. Look for reputable websites, blogs, and YouTube channels that offer expert advice and tutorials. Tip: subscribe to newsletters from trusted gardening organizations to stay updated on the latest trends and tips. Experiment and keep records. Gardening is a continuous learning process. Don't be afraid to experiment with different techniques and plants. Keep detailed records of what works and what doesn't to improve your gardening practices. Hack: use a gardening journal or app to track your progress and make data-driven decisions. Seek expert advice. When in doubt, seek advice from experts. Many local extension services and botanical gardens offer free or affordable consulting services. Tip: don't hesitate to reach out to experienced gardeners in your community for personalized advice and mentorship. Story: one listener shared how joining a local community garden provided her with invaluable advice and support, helping her overcome challenges and achieve a successful garden. Statistics: according to a survey by the National Gardening Association, 85% of respondents reported improved gardening success after participating in educational programs and workshops. Story: another listener mentioned that subscribing to a gardening YouTube channel provided her with practical tips and inspiration, making her gardening journey more enjoyable and successful. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that technology is playing a significant role in bridging knowledge gaps in urban gardening? One trend is the rise of gardening apps that offer personalized advice, plant identification, and problem-solving tips. Tip: try using gardening apps like PlantSnap or Garden Answers to access expert advice and resources right at your fingertips. Another innovation is the use of social media platforms to connect gardeners worldwide. Gardening influencers and online communities share valuable tips, tutorials, and inspiration, making it easier than ever to learn and grow. Tip: follow popular gardening influencers on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook to stay updated on the latest trends and techniques. Additionally, virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, are being used to create immersive gardening experiences and educational tools, making learning more engaging and interactive. Tip: explore VR and AR gardening tools and platforms to gain a deeper understanding of gardening concepts and practices. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and preferences can vary across cultures. In many cultures, traditional gardening techniques and knowledge have been passed down through generations. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your gardening journey. When implementing new gardening techniques, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on certain practices or require permits. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Infrastructure conflicts. Navigating infrastructure conflicts in urban gardening. Learn how to deal with infrastructure challenges in urban gardening. Find solutions for common issues. Have you ever wanted to start an urban garden but found yourself limited by the infrastructure around you? Fear not. We'll explore the common infrastructure challenges faced by urban gardeners and share practical solutions to help you navigate these obstacles. We'll also feature inspiring success stories and provide actionable tips to turn your urban gardening dreams into reality. Imagine this: you're surrounded by skyscrapers and concrete, but amidst it all, there's a flourishing urban garden, a green oasis that defies the odds. That's the power of urban gardening, and we'll show you how to make it happen. Common infrastructure challenges. Urban gardening comes with its own set of challenges, particularly related to infrastructure. Limited space, poor soil quality, lack of sunlight, and restricted access to water are just a few of the hurdles that urban gardeners face. According to a study by the American Society for Horticultural Science, these infrastructure challenges can significantly impact the success of urban gardens. Case study, let's take a look at the story of the Brooklyn Grange in New York City. This rooftop farm had to overcome numerous infrastructure challenges, including weight restrictions, wind exposure, and water access. By using lightweight soil, windbreaks, and an efficient irrigation system, they created a thriving urban farm that now produces over 50,000 pounds of organic produce annually. But it's not just about large-scale projects. Even small urban gardens can face infrastructure issues. For example, limited space and poor soil quality can make it difficult to grow healthy plants. But with a bit of creativity and innovation, these challenges can be overcome. Actionable tips for overcoming infrastructure challenges. Maximize vertical space. When space is limited, think vertically. Use trellises, vertical planters, and hanging baskets to grow plants upward and maximize your available space. Tip: choose climbing plants like beans, tomatoes, and cucumbers that thrive in vertical gardens. Improve soil quality. Urban soil can be compacted and contaminated. Use raised beds and container gardening to control soil quality and provide a healthy growing environment for your plants. Hack: create your own soil mix using compost, coconut coir, and perlite to ensure optimal drainage and nutrient content. Optimize sunlight exposure. Lack of sunlight can be a major challenge in urban areas. Use reflective surfaces and strategically place your garden to make the most of available light. Tip: grow shade-tolerant plants like lettuce, spinach, and herbs in areas with limited sunlight. Implement efficient irrigation systems. Water access can be limited in urban environments. Use drip irrigation systems and self-watering containers to ensure your plants receive consistent moisture. Hack: collect and reuse rainwater by installing rain barrels and using it to water your garden. Engage with your community. Collaboration can help overcome infrastructure challenges. Join or start a community garden to share resources, knowledge, and space with fellow urban gardeners. Tip: organize community events and workshops to build a supportive gardening network. Story: one listener shared how using vertical planters allowed her to grow a variety of vegetables on her small balcony, turning it into a productive and beautiful garden. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, vertical gardening can increase available planting space by up to 300%, making it a valuable solution for urban gardeners. Story: another listener mentioned that installing a drip irrigation system helped him maintain a thriving rooftop garden with minimal water waste, even during hot summer months. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that urban gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the use of hydroponic and aeroponic systems, which allow plants to grow without soil and require minimal space and water. Tip: explore hydroponic or aeroponic systems to grow your urban garden efficiently and sustainably, even in small or challenging spaces. Another innovation is the integration of green roofs and living walls into urban architecture, creating green spaces on buildings and enhancing biodiversity. Tip: consider transforming your building's roof or walls into a green space to contribute to a more sustainable and aesthetically pleasing urban environment. Additionally, smart gardening technology, such as automated irrigation systems and soil sensors, can help urban gardeners manage their gardens more effectively and address infrastructure challenges. Tip: invest in smart gardening tools to monitor and optimize your garden's conditions, ensuring it remains healthy and productive. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that urban gardening practices can vary across cultures. In many cultures, urban gardening has long been a way to grow food, create green spaces, and build community. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your urban gardening efforts. When navigating infrastructure challenges, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on building modifications, water usage, or gardening practices. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Urban zoning laws. Understanding urban zoning laws for gardeners. Stay informed about urban zoning laws that affect your gardening activities. Learn how to comply and advocate for change. Have you ever felt excited about starting an urban garden, only to be thwarted by confusing zoning laws and regulations? You're not alone. We'll explore the intricacies of urban zoning laws, share practical tips, and provide inspiring stories to help you understand and comply with these regulations. We'll also discuss how you can advocate for change and create more garden-friendly cities. Imagine this: you're cultivating a beautiful urban garden, enjoying fresh produce, and fostering community connections, all while navigating the maze of urban zoning laws. That's the journey we're embarking on today. What are urban zoning laws? Urban zoning laws are regulations that govern how land can be used in urban areas. These laws dictate everything from building heights and land use to green spaces and community gardens. According to the American Planning Association, zoning laws are designed to promote orderly development, protect public health and safety, and preserve community character. Case study: let's take a look at the story of the South Side Community Garden in Chicago. This community garden faced significant zoning challenges, including restrictions on land use and building structures. However, by working with local officials and advocating for zoning changes, the garden was able to secure the necessary permits and create a thriving green space for the community. Understanding zoning laws is crucial for urban gardeners. These regulations can affect where you can garden, what you can grow, and how you can structure your garden. But don't worry, with the right knowledge and approach, you can successfully navigate these laws and create a beautiful urban garden. Actionable tips for navigating urban zoning laws. Research local zoning laws. The first step in navigating zoning laws is to research the specific regulations in your area. Visit your local government's website, contact the planning department, or attend community meetings to gather information. Tip: look for zoning maps, ordinances, and guidelines that outline land use and gardening regulations. Engage with local officials. Building relationships with local officials can be invaluable. Attend city council meetings, join neighborhood associations, and reach out to your local representatives to discuss your gardening plans and seek their support. Hack: be prepared to present your case with clear benefits of urban gardening, such as community engagement, environmental sustainability, and improved public health. Advocate for zoning changes. If current zoning laws are restrictive, consider advocating for changes. Work with community groups, nonprofits, and local officials to propose amendments that support urban gardening. Tip: organize petitions, public hearings, and awareness campaigns to rally community support for zoning changes. Apply for permits and variances. In some cases, you may need to apply for permits or variances to legally garden in certain areas. Understand the application process and requirements, and ensure you provide all necessary documentation. Hack: seek assistance from local gardening organizations or legal experts to navigate the permit process. Stay informed and involved. Zoning laws and regulations can change over time. Stay informed about updates and continue to engage with your community to advocate for garden-friendly policies. Tip: subscribe to newsletters, join social media groups, and participate in local events to stay connected with the urban gardening community. Story: one listener shared how researching local zoning laws and working with city officials allowed her to transform a vacant lot into a vibrant community garden, providing fresh produce and green space for her neighborhood. Statistics: according to the Urban Land Institute, community gardens can increase property values by up to 9.4%, highlighting the positive impact of urban gardening on local communities. Story: another listener mentioned that advocating for zoning changes in his city led to the creation of several new urban gardens, fostering a sense of community and promoting environmental sustainability. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that urban gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the integration of green infrastructure, such as green roofs, living walls, and rain gardens, into urban planning to create more garden-friendly environments. Tip: explore green infrastructure options to incorporate sustainable and aesthetically pleasing elements into your urban garden. Another innovation is the use of technology to streamline the zoning process. Digital platforms and mobile apps can help urban gardeners access zoning information, apply for permits, and connect with local officials more efficiently. Tip: utilize technology to simplify the process of navigating zoning laws and enhance your urban gardening experience. Additionally, some cities are adopting urban agriculture ordinances that specifically support and promote urban gardening. These ordinances can provide clear guidelines and resources for urban gardeners. Tip: advocate for urban agriculture ordinances in your city to create a supportive framework for urban gardening activities. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that zoning laws and gardening practices can vary across cultures and regions. In some cultures, urban gardening has deep roots and is an integral part of community life. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your urban gardening efforts. When navigating zoning laws, always consider local regulations and guidelines. Ensure that your gardening activities comply with the law and contribute positively to your community. Agricultural policies. Agricultural policies and urban gardening. Learn how agricultural policies impact urban gardening. Stay updated on changes and opportunities. Have you ever wondered how agricultural policies impact your urban gardening activities? From zoning laws to water regulations, agricultural policies can significantly influence what you can grow, how you can grow it, and even where you can garden. We'll explore the complexities of these policies, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you navigate the legal landscape. Imagine this: you're nurturing your urban garden, growing fresh produce right in the heart of the city, but then you encounter policy restrictions that challenge your efforts. Fear not. We're here to help you understand and navigate these policies so you can continue to grow and thrive. Understanding agricultural policies. Agricultural policies encompass a wide range of regulations, including zoning laws, water usage rules, and pesticide regulations. These policies are designed to protect public health, promote sustainable farming practices, and ensure food security. However, they can also pose challenges for urban gardeners. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, understanding and complying with these policies is crucial for successful urban gardening. Case study: let's take a look at the story of the Little Rock Urban Farming Collective. This community garden faced challenges with local zoning laws that restricted the types of crops they could grow. By working with local policymakers and advocating for changes, they were able to amend the zoning laws to support urban agriculture, creating a thriving community garden that provides fresh produce for local residents. But it's not just about understanding the policies. Advocacy and community engagement are key to creating positive change and ensuring that urban gardening can flourish. Actionable tips for navigating agricultural policies. Research local policies. The first step is to research and understand the agricultural policies in your area. Check with local government websites, agricultural extension offices, and community organizations for information on zoning laws, water usage rules, and pesticide regulations. Tip: create a checklist of key policies that impact your gardening activities and keep it handy for reference. Engage with local policymakers. Building relationships with local policymakers can help you advocate for changes that support urban gardening. Attend city council meetings, join local gardening groups, and participate in community events to make your voice heard. Hack: use social media to connect with local policymakers and share your urban gardening success stories and challenges. Join or start a community garden. Community gardens can be powerful advocates for policy changes. By joining or starting a community garden, you can collaborate with other gardeners to address common challenges and advocate for supportive policies. Tip: organize community events and workshops to raise awareness and build support for urban gardening initiatives. Stay informed about policy changes. Agricultural policies are constantly evolving. Stay informed about policy changes by subscribing to newsletters, joining local gardening organizations, and following relevant social media accounts. Hack: set up Google Alerts for key terms like urban gardening policies and agricultural regulations to receive updates directly to your inbox. Advocate for sustainable practices. Advocate for policies that promote sustainable gardening practices, such as organic farming, water conservation, and biodiversity. These practices not only benefit your garden but also contribute to a healthier and more sustainable urban environment. Tip: share success stories and data on the benefits of sustainable practices with policymakers to support your advocacy efforts. Story: one listener shared how collaborating with local policymakers helped her community garden secure a permit to use vacant land for urban agriculture, transforming it into a productive green space. Statistics: according to a study by the Urban Land Institute, community gardens that engage with local policymakers are more likely to receive support and resources, demonstrating the importance of advocacy. Story: another listener mentioned that staying informed about policy changes allowed her to adapt her gardening practices and remain compliant, ensuring the continued success of her urban garden. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that agricultural policies are evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the growing recognition of urban agriculture in city planning, with some cities creating specific zones for urban farming and providing incentives for sustainable practices. Tip: explore opportunities for urban agriculture zoning in your area and advocate for policies that support urban gardening initiatives. Another innovation is the use of technology to monitor and manage compliance with agricultural policies, such as smart irrigation systems that ensure water usage meets regulatory standards. Tip: invest in smart gardening technology to stay compliant with policies and optimize your gardening practices. Additionally, some cities are implementing programs to support urban agriculture, such as grants, tax incentives, and technical assistance for urban gardeners. Tip: take advantage of these programs by applying for grants, exploring tax incentives, and seeking technical assistance to enhance your urban gardening efforts. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that agricultural policies and gardening practices can vary across cultures. In many cultures, urban gardening has long been a way to grow food, create green spaces, and build community. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your urban gardening efforts. When navigating agricultural policies, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have specific restrictions or requirements for urban gardening activities. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Community initiatives. Community initiatives in urban gardening. Join or start community initiatives to promote urban gardening. Learn how to get involved and make a difference. Have you ever felt the urge to garden but struggled with space, resources, or simply wanted to connect with like-minded individuals? Community initiatives in urban gardening are the solution. We'll explore the benefits of these initiatives, share inspiring success stories, and provide practical tips to help you get involved and foster community spirit. Imagine this: you're working side by side with your neighbors, transforming a vacant lot into a vibrant garden. The sun is shining, laughter fills the air, and you're part of something bigger than yourself. That's the magic of community initiatives in urban gardening. The benefits of community initiatives. Community initiatives in urban gardening offer a multitude of benefits. They improve access to fresh produce, enhance community relationships, and create green spaces in urban environments. According to a study published in the Journal of Urban Health, community gardens can reduce stress, promote physical activity, and foster social cohesion. Case study: let's take a look at the story of the Los Angeles Community Garden Council. This organization supports over 40 community gardens across the city, providing resources, education, and advocacy. These gardens have become safe havens for residents to grow food, share knowledge, and build stronger communities. But it's not just about the physical benefits. Community gardens also provide educational opportunities, teach valuable skills, and empower individuals to take ownership of their environment. They're a powerful tool for community development and environmental sustainability. Actionable tips for getting involved. Join an existing initiative. The easiest way to get involved is to join an existing community garden or urban gardening group. Look for local organizations or community centers that support urban gardening initiatives. Tip: attend community meetings and events to meet fellow gardeners and learn more about ongoing projects. Start your own initiative. If there isn't an existing initiative in your area, consider starting your own. Gather a group of interested neighbors, find a suitable location, and develop a plan for your community garden. Hack: host a community meeting or social event to gauge interest and recruit volunteers. Secure funding and resources. Community initiatives often require funding for tools, seeds, and soil. Look for grants, donations, or sponsorships from local businesses and organizations. Tip: organize fundraising events or apply for community grants to support your gardening project. Collaborate with local authorities. Working with local authorities can help secure necessary permissions and support for your initiative. Contact your city council or local government to discuss your project and seek their assistance. Hack: build strong relationships with local officials to advocate for policies that support urban gardening. Educate and engage the community. Share your passion for urban gardening with the community. Host workshops, garden tours, and educational events to raise awareness and inspire others to get involved. Tip: use social media and local media outlets to promote your initiatives and reach a wider audience. Story: one listener shared how joining a community garden helped her connect with her neighbors, build lasting friendships, and enjoy fresh produce year-round. Statistics: according to the National Gardening Association, participation in community gardening has increased by 40% over the past decade, reflecting a growing interest in urban agriculture and sustainable living. Story: another listener mentioned that starting a community garden in her neighborhood provided a safe and productive space for children to learn about gardening and nature. Recent trends and innovations. Did you know that community gardening is evolving with exciting new trends and innovations? One trend is the integration of technology, such as smart irrigation systems and soil sensors, to improve garden efficiency and sustainability. Tip: invest in smart gardening technology to monitor and optimize your community garden's conditions, ensuring it remains healthy and productive. Another innovation is the creation of themed gardens, such as pollinator gardens, native plant gardens, and sensory gardens, to cater to specific community interests and needs. Tip: design a themed garden that reflects your community's unique culture and preferences, making it a more engaging and personalized space. Additionally, some community gardens are partnering with local schools and organizations to offer educational programs and workshops on gardening, nutrition, and environmental stewardship. Tip: collaborate with local schools and nonprofits to create educational opportunities that benefit the entire community. Cultural sensitivity and compliance. It's important to recognize that gardening practices and preferences can vary across cultures. In many indigenous cultures, community gardening is a way to preserve traditional agricultural practices and promote food sovereignty. Embrace and respect these cultural differences in your community gardening efforts. When starting a community garden, consider local regulations and guidelines. Some areas may have restrictions on land use or require permits for certain activities. Always check with your local government to ensure compliance. Future of urban gardening. The future of urban gardening, innovations and trends. Explore the future of urban gardening with innovative trends and technologies. Stay ahead of the curve. Have you ever wondered what the future holds for urban gardening? With the rapid pace of technological advancements, urban gardening is evolving in remarkable ways. We'll dive into the latest innovations, share inspiring stories, and provide practical tips to help you stay ahead of the curve. Picture this, a city where green spaces aren't just parks and gardens, but integrated into buildings, rooftops, and even vertical walls. With the help of technology, urban gardening is transforming our cities into lush, sustainable environments. Let's explore this future together. The rise of smart gardening. One of the most exciting trends in urban gardening is the rise of smart gardening technology. From automated irrigation systems to AI-powered plant monitors, smart gardening tools are making it easier than ever to maintain healthy, thriving gardens. Case study, let's take a look at the story of John, an urban gardener who transformed his balcony garden with the help of smart technology. By using soil sensors, weather stations, and automated watering systems, John was able to optimize his garden's conditions and achieve impressive yields. His tomatoes grew bigger, his herbs more fragrant, and his flowers more vibrant, all thanks to the magic of smart gardening. But it's not just about convenience. Smart gardening technology can also help conserve resources by optimizing water and energy use, making it a sustainable choice for urban gardeners. Vertical and rooftop gardening innovations. Vertical gardening. When space is limited, thinking vertically can open up new possibilities. Vertical gardening allows you to grow plants on walls, trellises, and even specially designed towers. Tip: use vertical gardening techniques to maximize your growing space and create stunning green walls that enhance your urban environment. Rooftop gardens. Rooftop gardens are becoming increasingly popular as cities look for ways to utilize unused spaces. These gardens can provide fresh produce, improve air quality, and reduce urban heat island effects. Hack: consider transforming your building's rooftop into a green oasis with raised beds, containers, and even hydroponic systems. Hydroponics and aquaponics. Hydroponics and aquaponics are revolutionizing urban gardening by allowing plants to grow without soil. These systems use nutrient-rich water to provide plants with everything they need to thrive. Case study, meet Sarah, an urban gardener who turned her small apartment into a hydroponic paradise. Using a simple hydroponic setup, she was able to grow leafy greens, herbs, and even strawberries year-round. Not only did she enjoy fresh produce, but she also saved money on groceries and reduced her environmental footprint. Aquaponics takes it a step further by integrating fish farming with hydroponics. Fish waste provides nutrients for the plants, while the plants help filter and clean the water for the fish. It's a symbiotic system that maximizes resource use and productivity. The role of technology in urban gardening. AI and machine learning. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are playing a growing role in urban gardening. From predicting plant health to optimizing growing conditions, AI can provide valuable insights and recommendations. Tip: explore AI-powered gardening apps and tools to gain data-driven insights and improve your gardening practices. Drones and robotics. Drones and robots are being used to monitor and maintain urban gardens, particularly in large or hard-to-reach areas. These technologies can perform tasks like planting, watering, and harvesting with precision. Hack: consider using drones or robotic assistants to help manage your urban garden, especially if you have a large or complex setup. Future predictions and cultural sensitivity. As urban gardening continues to evolve, it's important to recognize the cultural diversity and unique practices that contribute to this global movement. Urban gardening is not just about growing food, it's about community, sustainability, and resilience. Looking ahead, we predict that urban gardening will become even more integrated into city planning and architecture. Green roofs, living walls, and community gardens will become standard features in urban environments, promoting a healthier and more sustainable future. Thank you. Happy gardening.